Who would have thought we'd be here tonight? Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Education, the faculty, staff, and administration of the Milford Exempted Village Schools, I welcome you to the 139th commencement exercises of Milford High School. I would like to welcome Mr. R.J. Johnson to the stage to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I ask everyone who is able to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. At this conclusion of the Pledge of Allegiance, I ask everyone to please remain standing for the National Anthem as performed by the choir, as performed by the combined talents of the Milford High School Band and Choir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. And thank you, RJ. I would now like to welcome Senior David Graves to introduce the distinguished guests who are with us today.
On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to introduce and recognize our distinguished guest whose incredible support and dedication create opportunities for us to soar. Please allow me to introduce those who are seated on stage with us today. As your name is read, please stand. I kindly ask that everyone please hold their applause until all have been introduced. Mr. Josh Kaufman, Principal, Milford High School. Miss Becky Wolf, 12th grade Principal. Mr. David Haluga, 11th grade Principal. Mr. Shane Ferguson, 10th grade Principal. Miss Stacy Smith, Associate Principal of the 9th grade Community. Mr. Rob Hatfield, Associate Principal, Milford Success Academy. Mr. Chris Ham, President, Board of Education. Mrs. Andrea Brady, Vice President, Board of Education. Mrs. Emily Chestnut, Member, Board of Education. Mr. Dave Miranda, Member, Board of Education. Mr. John Spicer, Superintendent. Mrs. Jenny Berkeley, Assistant Superintendent. Dr. Rob Dunn, Assistant Superintendent. Mr. Paul Daniels, Director of Secondary Curriculum. Dr. Jill Hollinsworth Smith, Director of Special Education. Mr. Brian Rabe, Treasurer. Mrs. Taryn Barker, Coordinator of Special Education. Miss Linza Davey, Coordinator of Student Services. Mr. Andy McCool, Dean of Instruction, Live Oaks Career Campus. Mr. Dan Yeager, Director of Fine Arts and Activities. Mr. Joe Cameron and Miss Justine Capuson, readers of graduate names. Mr. Greg Rose and Mrs. Emily Sears, senior class co-advisors. Mrs. Liz Hartley, senior class counselor. Also with us today, seated in the front row, are administrators who support our students in a variety of roles throughout the district. I ask each of them to stand as they are introduced, and ask again that you please hold your applause until all have been announced. Mrs. Misty Getz, Principal, Milford Junior High. Mrs. Melinda McReynolds, Assistant Principal, Milford Junior High. Mr. Todd Wells, Assistant Principal, Milford Junior High. Miss Melissa Caraher, Principal, Charles L. Seipelt Elementary. Mrs. Mina Espy, Principal, Elementary Eagle Online. Mr. Todd Wilson, Principal, McCormick Elementary. Mrs. Kelly Ellison, Principal, Meadowview Elementary. Miss Sarah Greb, Principal, Mulberry Elementary. Mr. Jimmy Carter, Assistant Principal, Mulberry Elementary. Mrs. Tiffany Selm, Principal, Pattison Elementary. Mrs. Sarah Sloan, Director, Milford Preschool. Thank you for your attendance today and your show of support for the class of 2021. We also have over 60 members of the faculty and staff of Milford High School with us today. These educators are here to show these seniors their support and recognize the impact they have left on Milford High School. I invite the faculty and the staff of Milford High School to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Now let's have a rockin' flockin' graduation.
Thank you, David and RJ. I believe great schools are the product of great leadership. And I would now like to invite the superintendent of the Milford Schools, Mr. John Spicer, to address the class of 2021.
Thank you, Principal Kaufman. It's hard to believe that we had a school year in a pandemic with cicadas, but we made it, so welcome. We spent the last few weeks recognizing and celebrating the accomplishments of the class of 2021. It's been a culmination of 13 years of dedication, broadened minds, and maturity. Before you sits 514 students who have grown as a result of those around them. On behalf of the school board, the school administration, we extend to each of you a warm congratulations. A special thank you to our elementary, junior high, and high school principals and teachers for being here and for your dedication and support of the outstanding students that we are going to honor today. I'm going to go off script a little bit, Josh. Yesterday, Principal Kaufman and I had an opportunity to honor those students that will be entering into the military. My father served in the 101st Airborne, and so I grew up in a military family. What I'd like to do today is honor those family members that are here today that have served our country or are still serving our country. So if you would, please stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you for your service. It goes without saying that freedom isn't free. So Principal Kaufman and I did present those in the class of 2021 who will be serving our country an Eagle Wing pin. The pin was especially designed for Milford High School students who have chosen to protect America's freedoms by enlisting to serve in a branch of the United States military. As your name is called, please stand and remain standing until all names are called. And once all names are called, we will honor them together with applause. Peyton Bauer, National Guard. Raven Benshuv, Army. Jameson Berta, Marines. Paxton Britt, Army. Allison Burgess, Army. Hector Camacho, Marines. Jaden Cantor, Army. Peyton Clemens Thomas, Navy. Alexis Crow, Army. Samuel Franks, Army. Kelly Gray, Army. Joseph Gullidge, Army. Jack Hensley, Air Force. R.J. Johnson, Marines. Luke Lassell, Marines. Reese Matre, Marines. James Macbeth, Navy. Jack McKinney, Army. Jackson Muldoon, Navy. Thaddeus Olson, Marines. Jonathan Prem, Army. Austin Pritchard, Army. Emma Renner, Marines. Zachary Thacker, Navy. Or Army. Sorry, that's the correction. Sorry about that. Zachary Thacker, Army. Christopher Thompson, Army. Isaac Tremblay, Army. Thank you. Please be seated. I want to just take a moment and ask you, seniors, are you willing to take chances? Ask yourself, why not? What's holding you back from doing something that you've never done before? Is it your mindset? If you've never been there before, I ask that you try it. Don't be the person that doesn't try. I want you to live life with no regrets. Regrets is like a poison. What's the worst thing that could happen to you? Failure? Maybe. If you failed, at least you tried. You would definitely learn something about yourself. I want you to open new doors, test new limits, and don't ever pass up an opportunity. There's greatness in opportunity. And finally, believe in yourself, and you will accomplish greatness. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spicer. I would now like to invite Ms. Charlotte Marshall, our senior speaker, to the stage. Lottie is the daughter of Meredith and Michael Marshall, a young woman described as strong, reliable, hardworking, loyal, and someone with a wicked sense of humor. Lottie has contributed much to Milford High School. In addition to a rigorous course load, Lottie has been involved in the academic team and drama program at Milford High School, and earlier this year, she used her sewing talents to make masks which she donated to Feed Our Flock. Today, Lottie will be awarded a diploma and graduate as an AP Scholar with honors, having completed 7 honors and 6 advanced placement courses, earning a cumulative weighted GPA of 4.442, and this fall, Lottie plans to attend this Xavier University and major in social work.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. Good afternoon, fellow graduates, staff, family, and friends. My name is Lottie Marshall. You may know me from class or potentially as the girl who has tripped up the steps of the Bower Commons one too many times. In an attempt to not be so clumsy with my speech, I Googled tips on how to write a commencement speech, and it said to keep it short and sweet, so I'll do my best. Google also said not to say anything I'll regret in 20 years, which is why this is my second draft. In an effort to not say anything I'll regret, I'll start with a huge congratulations. After 13 years of hard work, we are finally sitting here today in our red gowns and matching masks and receiving our hard-earned diplomas. While I could stand here and list off the many things that made our senior year a rather unique experience compared to the classes before us, I'd much prefer to focus on three things: our success, our good memories, and our futures. It doesn't matter whether you've attended Milford schools for 1 year or 13 years. We can all say how much we have grown and learned from the classes we've taken and the people we've met. All of the buildings in the district hold such special memories for us. Whether it be the joy of making an unlikely friend on the first day of school, the excitement of making the team and winning your first game, the satisfaction of finishing an assignment at 11:57 at night, or even the immense relief we've all felt when we didn't fail that test quite as badly as we thought we would, because honestly, a 67% is always better than an F. This year may have had its obstacles, but our class has created plenty of happy memories and achieved many great things. The theater department was able to put on 2 awesome shows. The National Honor Society was able to help the Milford community with their service projects. The esports team became champions for eSport Ohio. Girls soccer had their best season in 10 years. We had 6 swimmers compete at state, and we became ECC champions in cheer, dance, boys lacrosse, and softball. The only team I ever participated on was the academic team, and even though we didn't have a killer season, our phenomenal coach, Mr. Harry Smith, would always remind us that the important thing was that we had a senior season, and that making memories and having fun would mean so much more than winning. And I think that's something every student can relate to this year, as every activity comes with great memories, no matter what might have changed this year. And I can say with certainty that these memories will stick with us. When I think about the first day of school, it's hard to believe we're actually sitting here, but we did it. We are the class that figured out how to continue pursuing the things and activities we loved during what everyone seems to be calling these unprecedented times. We are the class that will never forget what it's like to stand up to hardship after hardship and still end up victorious. Even with the cards stacked against us, and with a crazy amount of perseverance, we are ending this year in incredible triumph. Of course, we could never have done it alone. We had teachers giving us support in and outside the classroom. We had friends who we could laugh about the hard times with. And of course, we had family encouraging us to keep doing our best, no matter what that may have looked like. I'd quickly like to shout out my own parents. I'm so incredibly lucky to have such kind and supportive parents who I can always look to when I need help. So thank you guys. And our futures. This year has taught us many things. We have mastered how to be adaptive, a skill that will be incredibly helpful in our futures. Other skills we may have mastered during our high school experience may be a little more bizarre, such as the skill of multitasking so you can make breakfast during first period when you're online. Or I'm not sure I ever completely mastered the ability to listen and understand a crash course video 15 minutes before a test, but I always tried. And my personal favorite, being able to perfectly time out my naps after school so I still have enough time for homework. But even with all these strangely acquired skills, I'm sure many of us, myself included, are very nervous about the major changes we face as we walk out of here today. So I offer the best piece of advice I've heard yet, which is that this isn't the time to make hard and fast decisions. This is the time to make mistakes, to change your mind, then change it again, because nothing is permanent. With our memories, both good and bad, our successes and our failures, we have earned the right to head into our futures with enough confidence to take chances and even make mistakes. But in an effort to follow the advice, less is more, I'll wrap things up. And since every speech ends in a cheesy quote, here is mine. You're welcome. You can find inspiration in everything, and if you can't, you're not looking properly. So thank you, Milford, for all the inspiration you have given my fellow graduates and me. Make the class of 2021 have all the success in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Lottie. Each year, Milford High School awards honors to graduating seniors who have earned the highest of our academic accomplishments. At this time, we will recognize our Salutatorian and Valedictorians from the class of 2021. I ask now that Kylie Clifton and Olivia Craycraft please join me on stage to be recognized. Yeah. The Salutatorian of the class of 2021, Ms. Olivia Craycraft, is the daughter of Kenneth and Sue Craycraft. During her 4 years at Milford High School, Olivia has completed 9 honors and 16 advanced placement courses, earning a cumulative weighted grade point average of 5.204. In addition to a rigorous course load, Olivia has been an active member of the National Honor Society and the softball team, where she earned first team All-City and first team All-ECC honors. Olivia graduates today as an AP Scholar and will be awarded an AP Capstone Diploma. This fall, she will enroll at the Washington University in St. Louis, majoring in English and playing softball. Olivia, Mr. Paul Daniels, our Director of Secondary Curriculum, now presents to you this salutatory ring gifted by Graduate Services in recognition of your outstanding academic success at Milford High School. Congratulations. Our valedictorian of the class of 2021, Kylie Clifton, is the daughter of Scott Clifton and Teresa Pierce. During her 4 years at Milford High School, Kylie has completed 9 honors and 15 AP courses, earning a cumulative weighted grade point average of 5.210. In addition to a rigorous course load, Kylie has been a 4-year member of the soccer program and is a member of the National Honor Society. She graduates today as an AP Scholar and will be awarded an AP Capstone Diploma. This fall, she will enroll at the University of Kentucky, majoring in mathematical economics. Kylie, Mr. Paul Daniels now presents to you the valedictory ring in recognition of your outstanding academic accomplishments. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations to you both. One Eagles Way, Milford, Ohio, 45150. Your destination, your home for the past 4 years. It's 23.5 miles from where you sit right now. It's the fields where you won championships, the theaters where you captured hearts, the gym where you hit last-second shots, the classrooms where you aced tests, or maybe didn't, the cafeteria with the best grilled cheese sandwiches you've had in your entire life. It's where you ended your last full day of high school on lockdown. For 4 years, One Eagles Way has been the place where we have all shared so very much. We've laughed together, we've cried together, we've hugged each other, and we've socially distanced from each other. For some of you, One Eagles Way was the first place you could truly call home, the first place you could count on. Your on-campus moms guided you through 4 years of high school, Mrs. Hartley's quiet confidence, Mrs. Wolf's fierce passion to make sure you succeeded. They were the ones you could always count on. But One Eagles Way is more than a building. One Eagles Way is a mindset. It's a belief that collectively you can achieve so much more than your individual selves. While we fancy ourselves to be known as the flock, a grouping of eagles is actually referred to as a convocation. And while admittedly, the convocation doesn't have the same ring to it as the flock, that term fits today in so many ways. As you sit here in the Cintas Center, a building that when it was built was originally known as the Convocation Center, we unite as one. One group, one class, one convocation, one group called to be something greater. You see, eagles don't simply travel in groups, they convocate. They together are called. They work with each other for a common purpose, and they operate as one. Now, before I get too far down a path of academic nonsense, let me distill this down into the most simplest of terms for you. You're here today because you believed in one Eagles way. You work to better yourselves while you work to elevate those around you. You see, this place, this one Eagles way, it only works when we all work together. Being one doesn't mean we are not all different. You sit here today as 514 individuals, uniquely gifted with talents and skills that will take you far beyond these walls. The wonderful, colorful, and beautiful differences of all of you is something I value so dearly and I so admire in your class. Individually, you have accomplished much, but collectively, you have accomplished more. You are the class of 2021, and today you become only the 8th class in school history, the 2nd class in school history, to graduate to the hum of cicadas and a global pandemic in the same year. Congratulations. As you leave here today, I challenge you to never forget a few powerful lessons. Always be open to change. The world around us is changing at a rate never seen before in human history, and change can feel uncomfortable, and it can be hard. But the hard is what makes it great. Value the differences in each other. Be willing to learn from each other, but more importantly, listen. Listen to each other. Continue to grow, and do not be afraid to reinvent yourself. Always work together. Great teams only succeed when everyone pulls together towards a collective goal. They acknowledge the differences, celebrate the strengths, and collectively subject themselves to a higher purpose. And as a class, you have done this, and done it exceptionally well. Each and every one of us has a role to play, but when we work together, amazing things can happen. And always remember one Eagles way. Forget the crowded hallways or the days that Schoology wouldn't load or that one car that is determined to turn left out of Eagles Way after school. You know who you are. Remember the one voice you shared with us in your choir and drama performances. Remember the Eagles that ran through the smoke and noise to earn the first playoff win in school history. And remember the way you persevered through the most challenging 12 months of any of our lives. I hope you will always remember one Eagles way fondly. And I hope that years from now, you continue to share with your friends and family the laughter and joy you have felt over the past 4 years. I hope you remember that individually you are great, but collectively you are outstanding. In the days, months, and years ahead, remember one Eagles way. My fondest memories will always be the moments where you visibly and magnificently showed us how powerful one Eagles way can truly be. In my office, there is a lamp. It's this lamp right here. And this lamp shines for the alumni of Milford High School. It emits a warm red light and it illuminates my office all hours of the day and night. This is your light. Today, this light gets passed to the class of 2021. In the days, the weeks, the months, the years ahead, when you drive towards one Eagles way, and you drive through campus and you see that red light in my office, know that that red light is for you and one Eagles way. Class of 2021, I want nothing but the very best for you. It has been the privilege of my life to serve as your principal. Well done. At this time, will the Milford High School class of 2021 please rise? Mr. Ham, Mrs. Brady, Mrs. Chestnut, and Mr. Miranda. These 514 students, the Milford High School class of 2021, who will receive their diplomas this afternoon, have completed all of the educational rigors and requirements as set forth by the Milford Exempted Village School District and the state of Ohio. It is my honor to present to you for the conferring of diplomas from One Eagles Way, the Milford High School class of 2021. Please be seated. Each of you here today, students and parents, have waited many years for this moment. And we ask that you respect and honor those around you and the students seated here before you as we ensure each and every graduate's name is heard. Will the first row of students please rise?
Kylie Nicole Clifton. Olivia Rose Craycraft. Emma Marie McManis. Samuel James Lewis Lyon. Miriam Mofta Abed. Emily Grace Abbas. Franklin Alexander Apt. Jack Andrew Ackerman. Riley Grace Ackerman. Lydia Isabella Adams. Morgan Alexis Adams. Sarah Elizabeth Adams. Chelsea Jordan Addison. Lauren Marie Alberts. Jonathan Teria Allard. Emily Catherine Elfin. Aiden Maxwell Alper. Matthew David Altamuli. Salvador Anguiano Lamelli. Kelsey Nicole Arwine. Fallon Brooke Austin. Ellie Marie Bach. Janie Lynn Baker. Jonathan Adam Baker. Josie Marie Baker. Phoebe Lane Baker. Patricia Elise Barish. Keyshawn Anthony Nicholas Barnes. Hunter Kai Baskell. Jacob Isaac Bateman. Hannah Rose Bates. Joseph Carter Bauer. Peyton William Bauer. Richard Porter Bosch. Dalton Lee Bowserman. Maria Talal Bawazir. Jacqueline Elise Bean. Ansley Olivia Bell. Catherine Joseel Bell. Nathan Reed Bell. Samuel Thomas Bellenby. Raven Vandal Benschoof. Jameson Clayton Berta. Emily Elizabeth Betlisky. Javen Ray Beverly. Jack Richard Beyer. Anna Mae Bieber. Quinn Joseph Bitzer. Madeline Taylor Blair. Austin Michael Bodley. Mitchell Cooley Boggs. Damian Xavier Bowling. Donovan Cole Bond. Samantha Christine Boothby. Kara Page Bowling. Samantha Grace Bauscher. Rebecca Lee Boyers. Rhiannon Lee Scott Braden. Connor Reese Brandt. Felicia Marie Brewer. Zach Brinker. Paxton Joella Renee Britt. Sean Austin W. Bronner. Caden Daniel Brooks. Weston Michael Brossert. Cassidy Ida Brothers. Brianna Devone Brown. Connor Michael Brown. Tabitha Suzanne Browning. Ethan Andrew Bunker. Allison Ray Burgess. Elizabeth Jane Burns. Olivia Ashton Buzzmeyer. Douglas John Bushman. Hector Luis Camacho. Benjamin Wesley Campbell. Joel Raymond Campbell. Jaden Joseph Cantor. Brianna Caperton. Sarah Jane Cardell. Anthony Wayne Carlisle. Olivia Taylor Casto. William Walter Caton. Aiden Isabel Cavell. Owen Riley Charlton. Avery Isabel Shalastri. Hayden Carl Chin. Logan Raymond Clark. Nicholas James Clark. Raymond Riley Clayton. Peyton Marcus Clemens Thomas. Brendan Parker Cobain. Javon Alexander Collier. Adia Ray Cook. Elizabeth K. Cook. Jacob Nicholas Cook. Mary Jane Cook. Madeline Marie Cooper. Sophia Morgan Cooper. Aaron Matthew Coors. Riley Lynn Cornett. Robert William Carell. Caden Matthew Cox. Leah Nicole Creech. Alexis Lynn Kroll. Brandon Edward Corinne. Ashley Morgan Dalrymple. Michael Danielson. Adam Gregory Davis. Parker Sebastian Davis. Sophia K. Dawson. Shan Griffin Deek. Olivia Faith Dees. Catherine Marie Denlinger. Michael Joseph Dermody. Avery Alexis Diaz. Caleb Noah Dickerson. Robert Elias Dickerson. Gabriel Michael DeTulio. Gavin Brian DeBratz. Ty Pedro Dominguez. Isaac Lawrence Donovan. Leah Claire Duell. Logan Renee Downs. Carly Marie Dusing. Cameron Michelle Duke. Jordan Bray Donahue. Patrick Bonyim Young. Natalie Kate Earl. Erica Jo Eberly. Nathan Anthony Ebner. Emma Grace Edwards. Carly Elizabeth Eggemeyer. Riley Ann Eggemeyer. Justin Taylor Eglin. Haley Lynn Eisman. Samantha Lee Ellis. Joseph Benton Eppert. Craig Dayton Earl. Ryland Malachi Eubank. Austin Jacob Evans. Connor Braden Evans. Ethan Jamie Evans. Jesse David Feast. Gretchen Nicole Feldkamp. Thomas Hesian Feltz. Brooklyn Renee Fender. Cassius James Ferguson. Molly Olivia Finn. Nicholas Aaron Fisher. Julia Marie Fisher. Nolan Ryan Flannery. Maximilian Bryce Flaher. Leah Elizabeth Fleece. Lillian May Fleshauer. Sophia Marie Fleshauer. Brianna Michelle Ford. Lucas James Forrest. James Robert Forrest Jr. Megan Isabel Foster. Matthew Dylan Foy. Samuel Elijah Franks. Jared Robert Frederick. Hunter Dylan Funk. Summer Marie Garrison. Carson Vaughn Geyer. David Caleb Gelter. Megan Elizabeth Gentry. Casey Alexander Gessendorf. Mark Bruce Gibson. Julia Catherine Gill. Zoe Elizabeth Gertie. Emma Kate Getke. Naya Marion Goslin. David Andrew Graves. Austin Kevin Gray. Kali Cheyenne Rosalind Zenia Gray. Joseph Richard Gullidge. Nathan Daniel Gunselman. Ethan Thaddeus Hackler. Austin David Hare. Christian Stanley Hegverdi. Brian William Hall. Cassidy Joy Hall. Lucas Randall Hall. Tanner Briggs Hall. Ryan Edward Hallinan. James Alexander Hanna. Mitchell Andrew Hansbauer. Paige Lynn Faith Harris. Margaret Hope Harrison. Hayden Palmer Harvey. Jacob Mansfield Heskins. Olivia Jean Hawk. Connor Macaulay Hawkins. Holland Delaney Hayes. Bridget Addison Haynes. Grace Elizabeth Marshall. Harley Joseph Healy. Madison Olivia Healy. Mason James Heffernan. Austin Lewis Helsel. Liam John Hembry. Donovan Isaiah Henderson. Sarah Nicole Hendricks. Taylor Nicole Henninger. Jack Reed Hensley. Rebecca Christine Henson. Tyler Dean Hewlett. Lauren Elizabeth Hickey. Kylie Adelaide Rue May Hicks. Logan Sean Hilton. Trenton Ray Hodge. Nicholas Eric Holmer. Ethan Michael Holman. Josephine Allison Homan. Ethan Riley Hooper. Corey Scott Hopkins. Spencer Richard Kevin Hoare. Taylor Nicole Horman. Jonathan Karp Hornback. William Daniel Hornback. Joseph Robert Hornberger. Logan Matthew Horton. Maxwell Gennaro Horton. Jocelyn Marie Howard. Samantha Ray Hoyas. Landis Rashad Hughes. Sydney Marie Hewitt. Mercedes Mary Jane Hunt. Colton Scott Hupp. Rory Catherine Huseman. Brenton Chase Hutzel. Benjamin Matthew Ice. Cadence Rosemarie Irvin. Noah Benjamin Jacobson. Madison Zimmery Jesse. Jared David Jetter. Daniel Neal Johnson. Drake Marcus Johnson. Carissa Elizabeth May Johnson. Lisette Grace Johnson.
Raul Johnson. Ryan Gracie Johnson. Audrey Rose Johnston. Aliana Faith Jones. Brianna Jean Jones. Landon Bryce Judd. Anthony A. Kacholkin. Nikita A. Kacholkin. Danielle Raylyn Calton. Victoria Nadashia Capuchila. Anthony Joseph Fries Kaler. Lily Mackenzie Kaler. Reagan Jolene Fries Kaler. Allison Elizabeth Keller. Brady Joseph Kelly. Tyler James Kinney. Alyssa Marie Kilmore. Peyton Elizabeth King. Austin James Kennett. Cameron Meadow Kirkland. Charles William Edward Kling II. Mason Rudolph Christophic. John Stephen Lang II. Luke Matthew Isaac LaSalle. Tiffany Lee Lau. Miriam Nicole Lawrence. Aliana K. Lee. Marshall Chase Limley. Madeline Ann Lepper. Alyssa Rose Lewis. Holden Andrew Lewis. Malachi Brian List. Frank Gehrig Listerman. Gavin Howard Lockwood. Gavin Ellis Lohman. Nicholas Joel Luciano. Lauren Kristen Lutzen. Noah Brent Lutzen. Chad Everett Lynn. Taylor Moon McGlissick. Alyssa Opal Malone Ladd. Owen John Martin Malott. Blake Jameson Marson. Natalie Corinne Maricini. Charlotte Patricia Marshall. Serenity Devon Martin. Abdulbari Ali Masood. Drew Marie Matheny. Tristan Joseph Mayer. Zachary Joseph Matson. Mallory Ann McAfee. James Ronald Macbeth II. Alec J. McCain. Colin Andrew McCain. Kevin Andrew McCammon. Jack Thomas McKinney. Addison Chera McKinney. Tessa Ray McLaughlin. Dylan Tyler McMasters. Matthew Alexander McQuarrie. Dylan Cale McWhorter. William Jackson Meister. Alejandra Nicole Menendez. Lauren Ann Minker. David Julian Messink III. Elena Jo Metzger. Katie Kelton Meyer. John Perry Mickler. Leah Renee Murkey. Julian David Mikesell. Abigail Sue Mills. Claire Marie Mills. Angelica Louise Minnie Cook. Declan McKay Montgomery. Kennedy Grace Moore. Lydia Elaine Moore. Olivia Grace Moore. Rachel Ann Moore. Alec Marcus Moorman. Erin Elizabeth Morgan. Parker Maximus Morgan. Carter James Morlock. Devin Annette Morris. Sylvia Ann Munich. Jackson Mark Muldoon. Brianna Nicole Malarkey. Dylan Thomas Malarkey. Alexis Faith Murray. Brianna Haley Myrick. Clayton William Nance. Abigail Paige Nealon. Malia Renee Nurl. Dylan Matthew Neugebauer. Ibrahima Condetta Nene Kali Basil Niang. Caden Alexander Nixon. Kaylin Elizabeth Nunner. Madison Brooks O'Brien. Sasha Jasmine Oler. Thaddeus Miller Olson. Hannah Marie Ortiz. Juan Luis Ortiz Rivera. Avery Lauren Osborne. Ethan Christopher Owens. Joshua John Panko. Lydia Elaine Parr. Haley Michelle Passarge. Nathan Joseph Patchen. Chrissy Sujit Patel. Molly Rakesh Patel. Isaac John Pavulik. Jenna Ann Schmurder Paxton. Madeline Ashley Payne. Dylan Lee Pegg. Megan Marie Perrin. Randall Ernest Perry. Alexis Jade Peterson. Erica Claire Flans. Hunter Garrett Flans. Peyton Ray Flans. Braden Thomas Pickett. Erin Danielle Poe. William Edward Pond. Jacob Benjamin Powell. Jonathan Ronald Prim. Alexander James Pritchard. Austin William Pritchard. Emily Nicole Pruitt. Carson Blaine Renone. Vishnu Raj Kumar. Andrew Joseph Rollins. L. Juliana Redrow. Emily Morgan Reed. Emma Marie Renner. Hannah Grace Reyes. Piper Cassidy Rice. Kirsten Joanne Richards. Madison Erica Richardson. Sophia Zevin Riesenberg. Vincent Thomas Ringland. Brett Thomas Renninger. Tasia Jacques Roberson. Kaylee Morgan Roberts. Amber Michaela Robertson. Kennedy Marie Robinson. Haley Ray Rockwell. Sarah Elizabeth Rogala. Cameron Isaiah Timothy Rorig. Justice Malia May Rooks. Trinity Danielle Rowland. Mason Roy. Lucas Scott Ruddy. Zachary Robert Rochelle. Joel Stephen Saygraves. Jacob Daniel Sawyer. Joelle Marie Sammy. Logan Andrew Shell. Samuel Ryan Shanker. Grace Marie Schneider. Emma Rose Shue. Catherine Elizabeth Schulte. Haley Janet Searcy. Jessica Dawn Sears. Yanni William Seward. Jackson Brian Sharp. Austin Jacob Shepard. Jake Griffin Sherwood. Keela Marie Schinkel. Emily Elizabeth Skinner. Austin Christopher Snay. Margaret Elizabeth Solt. Grace Catherine Suter. Brooklyn Marie Stansel. Jill Elizabeth Stokes. Cassie Olivia Stooksbury. Jackson Riley Stout. Emma Harper Strickland. Megan Elizabeth Stolz. David Ray Swagger. Luani Ranisha Tao. Austin Michael Tarter. Olivia Marie Tarter. Brianna Michelle Tassiello. Emily Marie Taylor. Shreya Tirala. Zachary Simon Thacker. Elena Marie Thatcher. Harley Dawn Thomas. Christopher William Thompson, Jr. Gabrielle Nicole Toadvine. Isaac Trevor Tremblay. Tyler Aaron Tucker. Janie Nicole Tudor. Carly Marie Turner. Raven Skylar Valenti. Alyssa Jewel Vance. Caitlin Alexis Varner. Heman Isabel Vermillion. Alicia Viola Pioli. Nathan Robert Virgin. Sarah Elizabeth Wagner. Elise Dorthan Walker. Candace Lenia Walson. Kenneth O'Neill Watkins. Luke William Watkins. Ashton J. Thomas Watson. Cole Cameron Watson. Jacob Andrew Weaver. Maria Grace Wedding. Theodore Elliott Week. Lucas Tanner Weir. Morgan Aaron Whitaker. Chavez Leon White, Jr. Hannah Jane White. Kaylee Ann Wiesner. Zoe Alexandra Weisner. Kirk Michael Will. Pierce Michael Will. Kyle Robert Williams. Jackson Allen Witzkin. Jocelyn Bell Witt. Maya Lou Wooten. Shay Yunez. Christina Gabrielle Wall.
At this time, I would like to invite the senior class president and Milford High School alumnus from the class of 2021 Ms. Emma McManis, who will lead us in the Milford High School alma mater and the turning of the tassels to signify the end of these students' high school careers and their incredible futures that lie ahead. All yours.
The Milford High School alma mater unites us all and is a symbol of our one shared experience. At this time, I ask all current Milford High School students, as well as all alumni of Milford High School who are here today, to please stand and join me and the Milford High School choir in our alma mater. Before we conclude, I'd like to capture the last official photo of the class of 2021. Everyone smile. All right. And now, fellow classmates, join me in the turning of the tassel.